Hey, howdy, and welcome back. In case you can't tell, it is incredibly humid out here today, and I wore my red shirt in case I started bleeding, but that hasn't happened so far. But this is a little project that I did over about the course of a weekend. I would say, a day and a half, 2 days total. And this is a completely rechambered or rebarreled Steyr M1888-90. Now this still uses the original wedge locking system versus the Steyr M95, which uses a rotating bolt, but it's still a straight pull, still feeds from end block clips, and the basis of this project was more or less of an inspiration for everybody that might be looking into getting into gunsmithing. So I have a lot of people, ask me how do you come into this? How do you come up with projects and things like that? And really, the inspiration for this was super easy. I had bought this from everybody's favorite Milsurp casino based out of Florida. I'm sure you can guess which one it is. And when it arrived, it was completely shot out. It was crowned with an angle grinder, and I just kind of left it off to the side and hung it up over my workbench on some wires. You've probably seen it in some photos I posted. And that was that. And then one day I was thinking about reloading for it, which is 8x50R Mannlicher. And I started looking around, and 44 Magnum and 8x50R, their rims are only 50 thousandths apart. And so just out of sheer curiosity, I decided to load up an end block clip, and sure enough, they all fit, and the bolt will strip them out and eject the clip. So that's as simple as your inspiration can be for coming up with a new project. So instead of reloading for, a relatively weird, odd caliber, just rebarrel it. There's so many different ways you can come into creating a project. And honestly, this project could be done with nothing more than a Dremel and a drill. So the original barrel on this, like I said, it was crowned with an angle grinder, but it wasn't until I went to go drill it out for a liner that I realized that the barrel was bent. It was literally bent, like cartoonishly bent, almost straight down. And so what I ended up doing was cutting it off right here at the rear sight base, drilling it out the rest of the way, and installing this liner. Now, the feed system, it needed a little bit of work. It basically just needed the top leg of the follower cut off, rounded over, and then just a wooden block put into place and contoured to get it to feed. And then this, you might notice this on some of the close-up photos, this little bent piece of steel. The weird thing about shortening actions to shorter cartridges is that a lot of the times the original length of the action is made specifically for the original length of the cartridge. So when you go to feed a cartridge in, it doesn't have a chance to pop up and out of the feedway because it's going straight into the chamber, as with 8x50R, like a Spitzer bullet or a round nose bullet, whatever. As soon as you go to close the bullet is almost in the chamber, so it's getting guided into the chamber. This little metal hood is just there to keep the round from popping out of the feedway. But here is a full 5-round clip of 44 Magnum. You'll see that it still has a little bit of feeding issues just because these are flat nose bullets. It feeds best with round nose bullets. I'm out of those because I use them to test this. But, yeah. Again, there is no front sight on this right now because I don't know how to calibrate it just yet until I get back. And you're going to notice something very interesting on the last round here. Still ejects the clip. So, again, that's as simple as an inspiration for a project can be. Instead of, reloading for a strange, odd, weird, wonky caliber, swap it over to something that you already have in stock, maybe something you already shoot, and you can bring an old warhorse like this back into the 21st century, make it a little bit more relevant, a little bit more fun to shoot, and a little bit more personal for you. I know a lot of people disagree with doing this, just on the pure basis that it's an old military firearm, especially given the fact that this is a wedge lock. I haven't encountered any problems with the wedge lock. I've been running let's see here, 240 grain jacketed soft points through it all day long, no problem. But again, this is just as simple as your inspiration can be, and I hope that this kind of gave a few people different ideas as to some of the things you can do with what you got laying around, or some of the things you can do with what's really cheap on the market right now. So I do have a one-piece scope mount for this drafted up, and I'm going to machine a prototype of it. It'll be obviously sitting off to the side of the action so you can load the end block clip, but I want it to look period correct for, you know, early 1900s, late 1800s, and, you know, see if I can really dress this thing up, make it a sleeper. So thanks for watching. Happy building.